Yo, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Power Sports Network. I'm your host, Jackson Powers, and for the first time under the Power Sports Network name, we got an Indianapolis Colts recap video. It is for week 1 of the preseason that happened yesterday. Now, for those of you that don't know how these recaps work, back in the Jackson Powers days of this channel, I would make a recap about every single Colts game every single week dating back to 2020. So it's changed a lot since then. It's a lot more polished and goes off of script. Not really a script, but like I have like 3 or 4 key points I'll talk about instead of just telling you what happened in the game, because if you're watching this, you probably watched the game or not. Either way, the highlights are on YouTube. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So yesterday, the Indianapolis Colts played the first preseason game against the Denver Broncos, and it was actually a really good game. It was very fun, very entertaining. It's fun getting to see my team play. Even though we did lose 34-30, it's the fucking preseason, and that's the best part about the preseason is you can watch your team play, and if they lose, you don't really care that much. So I want to get into my takeaways. The first one, I have his jersey on, Anthony Richardson. Now, a lot of you are going to look at the stats and be like, man, Richardson just didn't play good. And you would actually be kind of correct there. Richardson, he looked shaky a little bit. I mean, he was 2 for 4, 25 yards. But I don't think he really got a chance to get going because he only got 2 drives, and he got a total of, I think, like 7 plays. It was not a lot. So, yeah, the first drive, Richardson, he was 0 for 2 on that drive. The first incomplete pass, he got pressure right away. Someone came unblocked at him, and he had to get rid of it quickly. That was incomplete. That one's excusable. You think, that should be complete, but, you know, he's basically still a rookie. So we'll let that one slide. His second throw, though, I think he threw it to Granson, and it should have been intercepted, but it wasn't. It was not a good ball. He forced it into coverage for sure, and we went 3 and out on the first series. Second series, Richardson gets a completion to Mo Alley Cox right away, gets a first down, gets like 20 yards, and then on third down, he gets a 5-yard completion to Kylan Granson, and almost gets the first, but it's 4th and 1. We have to punt, and then that was it. Shane Steichen took the starters out, and that was that. Now, I've already seen a lot of people clowning on Richardson for this performance. It's like, he really didn't have a chance to get going, in my opinion. I feel like if he would have gotten one more drive, I feel like he would have put a couple throws together and maybe been able to at least get a field goal. Because, I mean, it really, like, that second drive, he stopped forcing it. He took the easy completions. And had that ball he threw to Mo Alley Cox, it was a little like check down, but it was a nice throw. He fit it in there, and Mo Alley Cox took it and ran. That was a nice little completion. But yeah, Richardson only threw 4 passes, completed 2 of them, had 25 yards. I'm not worried about it. A lot of people are overreacting to their performance. Like, you got to keep in mind, this is his first live action since October of last year. It's been pretty much 10 months, almost to the day, since he last played in an NFL game. I understand he's been practicing the whole offseason against our defense, but it's way different when you get in there and go against a defense that you don't know. And plus, it wasn't like the Broncos were playing any scrubs. The Broncos were playing their starters. Like, the Broncos played their starters way longer than we played ours. I just want to throw that out there. The Broncos played their starters for what felt like 2 quarters. I know they played their starting defense way longer than we played ours, which we'll get into that here in a minute. But yeah, Richardson, I'm not concerned about what I saw. He has a lot of rust to shake off, and this is the first time he's ever gone that long without playing football, so I'm not going to overreact to it. This upcoming week, we got joint practices with the Cardinals. He's going to have a lot of chances to get reps against a defense he doesn't know, and I think that's going to help him a lot. Even if he doesn't get a whole lot of playing time in this next preseason game, which he probably won't since we have the joint practices. But he'll probably definitely play in the third preseason game. And, yeah, the Broncos have a pretty good defense, too. So, I'm not going to overreact. Like I said earlier, I feel like Richardson started to get things going in that second drive. And, honestly, if he could have had another drive, I think he could have put a scoring drive together. So, that's all I got to say about Anthony Richardson. I do want to talk about the rest of our offense. Our starters didn't really do much. I think Jonathan Taylor had like 4 yards rushing. He only had 2 carries. Richardson had 2 yards rushing on a scramble. And that was really it. But Joe Flacco, he led a pretty impressive drive against the Broncos starting defense. He led a field goal drive after we got the ball at midfield off of an interception. Offense, Joe Flacco led a nice drive, got a field goal out of it. He only played that one drive, but got the field goal out of it. That was all we needed to see. Preseason legend Sam Ehlinger led a touchdown drive, but he also threw a pretty bad interception. So the preseason legend wasn't as legendary yesterday, but that's besides the point. Kevin Sloves, another quarterback we brought in. He looked decent. Jason Bean, he looked pretty good. Reminded me a lot of 2021 Sam Ehlinger in the preseason. So, I feel like, Jason Bean, I think he's going to make a roster somewhere. I think Kevin Sloves, or whatever his name is, he'll make a roster somewhere too. Because I was pretty impressed by what they did. I mean, it was against third stringers, but it was still impressive. And it was just fun to see him drive down the field and get touchdowns. Evan Hull had a nice touchdown. Evan Hull had a decent game. He was injured all of last year, so we didn't get to see him play. So we're basically going into his rookie season. He looked good. I'd really like to see him in our running back room because I think number 1 and number 2 are pretty established. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor is number 1. Trey Sermon will probably be number 2. Number 3 is up in the air. It's either going to be Tyler Goodson or Evan Hull, and then they'll probably bring in a 4th back because they have like 5 backs on the roster. And then, yeah, that's really all I got for the offense. Every quarterback that was in there except for Anthony Richardson led a scoring drive. And like I said, if Richardson would have gotten another drive, he would have led a scoring drive. I'm fully convinced of that, but it is what it is. I want to talk about our defense now because our defense was very good. The starters, I should say. Our starting defense was very good. They didn't allow any points. I think the starting defense played 2 drives also. The first drive, they got a stop on 3rd down with a nice Kenny Moore tackle. In the second drive they were out there, they got an interception by, you guessed it, Kenny Moore. Kenny Moore had a great game. The 2 drives he was in there, he made plays on both of them. He actually is the one that got us the ball at midfield that Joe Flacco led down the field. But our starters were done after that, but our starters played really good against the Broncos starters. Our backup defense, however, was not good. Because once Bo Nix came into the game for the Broncos and we had our backups in there, Bo Nix sliced us up. And we could not stop the run with our backups. So that's a little concerning. Because if someone on our starting offense gets hurt, our backups would have to come in and that would just suck. But DeForest Buckner didn't play. So that impacted our run defense a little bit when the starters were in there, but it wasn't too bad. And then once Grover Stewart went out of the game, it just went all downhill. A positive note, though, Laiatu Latu, he didn't get any sacks, but he was in the backfield a lot. Like, it felt like, I think he played like 2 or 3 series, and it felt like at least once, like 1 or 2 drives, I should say. It felt like every other play he was in the backfield. He's going to be a problem. That's all I got to say. And then, talking about some of our third stringers, Micah Abraham. You guys don't know, I got his autograph on this helmet over here. Micah Abraham actually had a pretty impressive game. He had a few tackles. He had a forced fumble recovery, and a touchdown run, which was pretty dope. Literally ripped it out. Audric Estime had the ball. Notre Dame alone, by the way, Audric Estime. But he ain't Notre Dame no more, so fuck him. But I'm just kidding. I love you, Audric. But literally, Audric Estime was running the ball. Micah Abraham went and took the ball out of his hands and then ran and scored a touchdown and cut the lead to 3. So Micah Abraham looked good. Other than that, though, the rest of the backup defense was not good. Our starting defense was very good. I think the starting defense, they're going to do a lot of good things this year. we just need them to stay healthy because our depth is it's not good. We could not stop a bloody nose with that backup defense. But I said the same thing last year. I said that our depth would be an issue last year, and our defense was decent last year, so we'll see what happens. We just definitely need DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart to stay healthy. When those two are in there, the run game is very stoppable. We stop the run a lot when those two are playing. So, yeah, that's really all I got. Overall, it was a fun game to watch. Even though we lost, it was still fun to get to see the Colts play again. Richardson, I think if he plays at all in the next game, I think he'll do some good things. And if not, hopefully we see some good things from joint practices with the Cardinals. And that's what we're really looking to see. And, yeah, next week we play the Cardinals on Saturday. So I don't know if the recap will be up on Sunday or Monday. I might just do it on Monday just to keep the schedule going because usually I upload the recaps on Monday unless we play on like a Thursday night or something. Then it'll go out another day or like a couple days after that. We'll find out. We'll play it as we go. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the Power Sports Network. If you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss another episode. And follow everything in the description box. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.